You've probably heard your next truck will come with a government kill switch, buried in an 1,100-page bill nobody read, hidden costs nobody agreed to, insurance companies waiting on the data. The comment sections are furious, and they're half right. But here's what almost nobody understands. This law can't actually kill your engine yet. What it's already killing is something the automakers need far more, and they walked into it with their eyes open. Start with what the law actually says, because the fine print matters more than the outrage. Section 24,220 of the Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act was signed on November 15, 2021. One provision inside a bill more than 1,000 pages long, passed with almost no public debate on this specific measure. It orders the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration to write a federal safety standard requiring every new passenger vehicle to carry what the statute calls advanced drunk and impaired driving prevention technology. In plain terms, that means one of two systems. Either the car passively monitors how you drive, watching your eyes, your lane position, your inputs, and restricts or prevents operation if it decides you're impaired, or it passively detects your blood alcohol concentration and blocks the car from operating at 0.08 or above. No tube to blow into, no button to press. Sensors and software judging you every single time you turn the key, deciding whether you're allowed to leave your own driveway. Here's where it gets uncomfortable because the truth cuts both ways. The panic version of this story says the government gets a remote switch to shut your truck off on the highway. That's not in the statute. No federal agency can log into your vehicle and disable it. And nothing in the law forces this hardware into the used car you already own. Only newly manufactured vehicles are covered. But before you relax, read what the government admitted about its own mandate. NHTSA's February 2026 report to Congress concedes that no technology it knows of comes anywhere close to the accuracy this system needs. The agency calculated that even a detection system that's 99.9% accurate could produce millions to tens of millions of wrong calls every single year. Sober drivers locked out of their own vehicles. Impaired drivers waved through. That's not a critic's talking point. That's the regulator's own math, published while the mandate stays on the books. And the scope is wider than the name suggests. This was never just about alcohol. NHTSA's own rulemaking notice defines impairment to include drowsiness, distraction, even an incapacitating medical emergency behind the wheel, tired after a double shift, glanced at your phone at a red light. The system is designed to notice, and the statute says it must prevent or limit operation when it does. Volvo has already previewed where this goes, announcing a system in the EX90 that can brake the vehicle to a standstill in its lane if it decides the driver is unresponsive. That is the template regulators are watching, and the mandate is staying no matter how the technology performs. The law gave NHTSA until November 15, 2024 to issue the final rule. The agency missed its own deadline, and the requirement didn't die. It just sat there waiting. In January 2026, Representative Thomas Massey forced a vote to strip every dollar of funding from Section 24220. The amendment failed, with 57 Republicans joining 211 Democrats to keep the mandate alive. A separate repeal bill, the No Kill Switches in Cars Act, remains stalled in committee. So Washington has now voted on the record to push forward a system its own safety agency says cannot yet be built accurately. Sit with that for a second. Now here's the part almost nobody connects, and it's where the real damage begins. This mandate isn't landing on an industry that buyers trust. It's landing on an industry that just got caught. General Motors collected precise location data and driving behavior from Chevrolet, GMC, Cadillac, and Buick owners through OnStar's Smart Driver program, then sold it to data brokers LexisNexis and Verisk, who packaged it into risk reports for insurance companies. Drivers found out when their premiums jumped for reasons no one would explain. The Federal Trade Commission called it deception. and in January 2026 finalized an order banning GM from selling that data to consumer reporting agencies for 5 years and requiring explicit consent for the next 20. In May 2026, California hit GM with a $12.75 million settlement, the largest in the history of the state's privacy law. Arkansas and Nebraska filed their own suits. Texas expanded its investigation to Ford. And a February 2026 investigation found that 90% of new cars now track your driving every 3 seconds. And the deeper questions don't even have answers yet. The statute says nothing about who stores the impairment data, how long it's kept, or whether insurers and law enforcement can reach it without a warrant. A question legal analysts describe as genuinely unsettled. Researchers at Georgia Tech have even modeled what happens if networked kill switch systems across millions of vehicles were attacked at once. Entire transportation networks going dark, supply chains for food and fuel seizing up. This is the industry, and this is the infrastructure, now asking you to accept a factory-installed camera that judges your sobriety. So what do buyers do when they stop trusting the product? They stop buying it quietly, one household at a time, and the numbers already show it. The average vehicle on American roads hit a record 12.8 years old in 2025, the 8th straight year that number has climbed. The average passenger car is now 14.5 years old. For the first time since the early 1970s, there are fewer than 100 million passenger cars registered in this country, and the scrappage rate is holding steady at 4.5% because people are repairing what they have instead of replacing it. Every year, a buyer keeps the old truck in the driveways a year. Detroit doesn't book a new sale, and the mandate makes that choice easier because it only applies to new vehicles. The moment the rule takes effect, every pre-mandate truck on a used lot becomes the last of its kind, the last vehicle that doesn't watch you. Estimates put the added hardware cost at $100 to $500 per vehicle, passed straight to the buyer, while automakers have been pocketing up to $100 per car per year, selling the data those vehicles generate. The customer pays for the surveillance twice, once at the register and once through the premium hikes it feeds, on top of prices that are already pushing loyal customers out of showrooms. The domestic brands built their profits on truck buyers, and truck buyers are exactly the customers most likely to walk. To be fair, the problem this law targets is real, and the numbers deserve to be said out loud. Alcohol-impaired driving killed 12,429 people in 2023, 30% of all traffic deaths in this country. The Insurance Institute for Highway Safety estimates that working prevention technology could stop more than 9,400 of those deaths every year, and polling for Mothers Against Drunk Driving found 9 out of 10 Americans support the idea and principle. Nobody serious defends drunk driving. But supporting the goal is not the same as accepting a system the government itself says will misfire millions of times a year. And when it does misfire, when a sober nurse can't start her car after a night shift, she won't blame a subsection of a 2021 infrastructure bill. She'll blame the badge on the hood. Congress wrote the rule, but Ford and Chevrolet will own every false positive, every stranded driver, every viral video of a truck that refused to start. The reputational bill lands in Detroit. So watch the timeline, because it tells you exactly how this ends. As of this spring, there is still no final rule, and once one is issued, automakers get 2 to 3 years to comply, and the law even permits an extension of up to 3 more if the technology still cannot meet safety requirements, which puts mandatory installation near the end of this decade. That gap is the window, and buyers are already using it. Some are buying the last clean model years. More are simply keeping what they own and letting the odometer climb. The law was written to disable impaired drivers. It never needed to disable a single engine to do its damage, because the switch it actually flipped was demand, and that one nobody in Washington knows how to turn back on. If you want the truth about this industry before it reaches the showroom, subscribe now.